Hi sweet friends, welcome back to Mary's Nest. Today I'm continuing with my Christmas cooking series and I'm making an orange marmalade ginger glazed ham. It's also got lots of wonderful spices that not only taste delicious but are going to fill your kitchen with a wonderful Christmas aroma. Well, what I've got here is an 8.5 pound ham. It's already pre-cooked and it's spiral sliced and it's bone-in. And I bought this at my local grocery store. And the reason I picked this one, they had all different varieties, but this was a fully cooked, hickory smoked, uncured honey ham. So it's not cured. It has no nitrites, no nitrates, no antibiotics used ever, and never fed animal byproducts, no artificial growth hormones used, no artificial ingredients, and no preservatives, and it was raised on a family farm. Now I'm going to move this to the side and I'm going to show you the pan that I have prepared to warm this up in. I'm just going to push this to the side. The paper has a lot of crinkling to it. And I think I already mentioned it's an 8.5 pound ham. So what I've got here is a baking sheet, and I've lined the baking sheet with aluminum foil, and then I put another piece of aluminum foil on top that I'm going to wrap the ham in while it's warming up. And the reason I do this is sometimes the aluminum foil that I wrap it in can leak a little when it's warming up, and especially when I go to add the glaze a little later once it's warmed, and having that extra insurance of that additional aluminum foil on the baking sheet makes cleanup a lot easier, especially since we're going to be using jams. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get that unwrapped and put it on here, wrap it up, and get it in my oven and let that warm and come up to temp, and then we'll talk about the glaze. I just wanted to show you this ham because it's just so glorious looking before I wrap it up and put it in the oven. But it's just a beautiful ham. And the reason I like making this during holiday season, especially on Christmas Day, is because it's really low maintenance. It's already been cooked, it's spiral sliced. I just wrap it up, stick it in the oven, 350 degrees for about an hour, hour and a half. It'll warm it through, take it out, put the glaze on, put it back in the oven for a few more minutes at 425, and it looks stunning. It makes a great presentation, and really you didn't have to do very much. So I highly recommend making this on Christmas Day or New Year's Day or any day that you want to have a nice celebratory meal, but not something that's very time intensive and that will keep you in the kitchen and away from your guests. This way you put it in and you can enjoy your party. Now while the ham is warming in my oven, I'll show you how I make the glaze. And what I do is I use 1 jar of orange marmalade, and this is a 12-ounce jar, and this one is actually orange marmalade with champagne. Ooh. It was the only one I could find in my grocery store. But that was so that's the orange marmalade. And then the other one is a ginger preserves. And this also was the only ginger preserves that they had at my grocery store. Now, if you can't find ginger preserves, don't worry. You have a couple of options. If you can find crystallized sliced ginger like this, which I actually found in the produce section of my grocery store, but you may also find sliced ginger in the candy section. So just look around and see what you can find. This is 8 ounces, and if I was using this, I would whirl it with the orange marmalade like in a blender or a food processor or something to just kind of break it up. And if you don't have that, then just try and either of those pieces of equipment, just try and chop it up as much as you can with a knife and then add it to your orange marmalade. And then we've got a couple of nice spices that we add in. I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I have a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger for a little extra punch of ginger flavor. And then I have 2 teaspoons of dry mustard. I like using this because it's got a nice strong flavor to it. If you don't have this, don't worry. Just use 2 tablespoons of a spicy mustard, something like a Dijon, or anything you have along those lines that might have a spicy flavor to it. It really helps accentuate, sort of offset the sweetness. It's a nice balance of sweet and spicy with the jam. So that's 2 teaspoons of ground mustard. Alrighty, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour these in the bowl and mix everything up, and then all we need to do is wait for the ham to warm up, and then we'll put the glaze on. Now I just wanted to add, as you've probably heard me say in the past, waste not, want not. I do not throw out these jelly jars. What I do is, there is a little bit of jelly left in there, in this case marmalade, and in that one a ginger preserves. And when I get ready to make a salad dressing or a marinade, whatever the case may be along those lines, I add my oil and my vinegar, my seasonings, my salt and pepper, whatever, to this jar, shake it up, and then I have a nice salad dressing or a marinade that has a little bit of sweetness left over from what was in these jars. So I'll just go ahead and refrigerate those just as they are, and then they're waiting for me when I'm ready. Alrighty, so I've got the marmalade and the ginger preserves in here, and now I'm going to go ahead and add all our spices in, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm just going to mix this up. Oh, I can really smell the ginger. It's just wonderful. I love ginger. I love the ginger candy, the crystallized ginger. I love the ginger preserves. If you've never had these, definitely try them if you can find them at your grocery store. Oh, they're just wonderful on toast. Alrighty, well, now, what you can do at this point is add a little, maybe about a half a cup of brown sugar, or you can use, like I often use the sucanat or the rapadura, the dried cane juice. And that adds an additional layer of sweetness if you want to make the ham sort of real sweet and sticky. I'm not going to do that because it can, I've done it in the past, and some people really like it because it's just really sweet and sticky. But I don't know, as we all get older, I think we like to have a little less sugar, and we've got a lot in the jam already. So I'm not going to go ahead and add that in this time. But so that's optional if you want to add another layer of sweetness to it. And the other thing I want to mention is if you can't find or you don't want to buy a pre-cooked ham that's spiral sliced, you can still do the same thing, the same glaze, with a fresh ham. And you can buy the fresh ham bone in, or you could buy the fresh ham with the bone removed, and then you can even stuff the pocket of the ham, which is very nice. You could do like a little cornbread dressing or something like that. But if you do buy a fresh ham, then, I mean, depending on the weight of it and whatnot, but, an average sort of bone-in fresh ham, you'd probably cook on, you could boil it on your stove for about 3.5 hours or so, and then remove it from the pot, and then wrap it, in foil, like a little surround, or, on the baking sheet, put some foil down, and then maybe a little surround too to kind of make like a little reservoir, and put your glaze on, and then pop it in your oven, 425, you're gonna have to watch it. Everybody's oven's different. But you want to put it at 425 for maybe 15-20 minutes. You just kind of got to watch it. But so I just wanted to let you know you can do this with a fresh ham too. Well, I just took the ham out of the oven. It warmed in there for about an hour, and it just smells wonderful. The hickory smoking flavor that's coming out of it is just delightful. And so now what I'm going to do is put the glaze on, and then we'll put it back in the oven for about 10-15 minutes. It's one of those things you really have to watch, and it'll be at 425 because we don't want it to burn. But I'm just going to get this glaze on. I'm going to smooth it on with a spoon, and then I'm going to use my pastry brush also to just kind of brush it into every nook and cranny. This is just going to be wonderful. And then I'm really looking forward to enjoying this because I'm also letting some bread dough rise. I'm going to make rolls, and how delicious it'll be to make little ham sandwiches. I love doing that. This is just a glorious Christmas Day dinner. This is usually what I do on Christmas Day. I'll do this and a turkey, so people have, choice. But I have to confess, I think the ham is usually more popular than the turkey. So what I like to do with the pastry brush is get in between these spiral slices. I use the spoon to kind of separate them a bit, and then I get in with the pastry brush just to try to sneak some of the glaze down a little deeper into each slice of ham. Well, I'm just rolling up the foil a little around this just to make a little well to hold in all of the glaze, because after it browns a little in the oven, any glaze that drips down, I'll put that in a little bowl and serve that on the side if people want to put extra glaze on their own individual slices. And I have to tell you, when this glaze hit the hot ham, the smell of cloves and cinnamon and ginger, it's almost intoxicating. It smells so good. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and get this in my oven, 425. I'm going to watch it, 10, 15 minutes maybe, and then we'll be ready to eat. Well, it took just about 15 minutes at 425, and it's just all bubbly and glorious. I hope I'm going to move this a little so you can just see all the way around how beautiful that glaze looks. And then in the front piece here, just scrumptious. Alrighty, well now we have to have the taste test. So let me just take a little slice off of this and we'll see how it came. I'm just gonna scoop out, I got a little piece, I don't think anybody will miss it. And I'm scooping off a little bit of this glaze to put on top of the ham, just a little extra bit. Let's give this a taste and see how it came. This is so good. I've made this before, so I knew it was going to be good, but it really is good. I usually only make this once a year at Christmas, so a little bit of me forgets exactly how delicious it is. Now I know why I make this every Christmas, and I hope that you'll make it too. It's really good. And I want to thank you for joining me, and I look forward to having you join me again right here in my Texas Hill Country Kitchen. Love and God bless. Before you go, be sure to check out these two videos. I think you'll like them too. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click on the little notification bell that'll let you know every time I upload a new video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.